Pro boxing fans, we are here in Riyadh. The Friday weigh-in has happened. We're there, man. We're there. The big one, Usyk Fury 2. Dev, you've been around both fighters quite close, and you've seen them up front. I don't want opinion on the fight for himself because obviously you're Team Fury and we know that. But what have you seen from both men being around both fighters this week?
Tyson Fury dialed in, ready to go up there. I thought I'd get a word with him for the crowd. He didn't want to know. He just said, war. I've got nothing to say, war. And that's where he is now. He's done all of his talking. And they had an 11-minute face-off yesterday. And he called Usyk a multitude of names, insults that I'd never even heard of. Wonderful grasp of insults this man has. But yeah, what have I made of him? Look, he's just ready to go, and he looks like someone who just wants to cave Oleksandr Usyk's head in. And Oleksandr Usyk just looks like the same Oleksandr Usyk that I've seen ahead of his fight with Tyson Fury the first time, ahead of his fight with Daniel Dubois. It's just the same guy. But Tyson is the one that has the variables, it feels like. Usyk can just be the same guy and he's brilliant. Tyson can come in fitter. Tyson can come in bigger. Tyson has come in bigger, not 20 pounds bigger like the scale suggests. He had a bloody leather jacket on and all sorts. But he's probably about 10 pounds bigger, which takes him closer to the Deontay Wilder 2 weight, which is like 272. So yeah, it's all about Tyson. We know what Usyk is. What can Tyson do?
Interesting. With that extra weight, I'll speak to Sonny Edwards, and look, Sonny's a fantastic pundit. He's just obviously just retired, but he knows the game really well when he talks about it. One thing he said to me, and I found really interesting, is he goes, it's possibly I could see demons that I was going through towards the end of mine in Tyson this week. He goes, well, no one else might have noticed it, but I've seen things in Tyson that I was going through when I was looking to call it a day. Obviously, we can't tell that because we're not fighters and we don't know Tyson up close, but hopefully that's not the case, is it? Hopefully Tyson's, there's another year, 2, 3 years of Tyson.
I don't think Sonny Edwards went 3 months without speaking to his family. That is what I'd say there ahead of that fight. Look, the fighter's eye is different, so he may well have seen something, and sure, but he didn't go 3 months without speaking to his family. Tyson Fury did. And that was verified by Paris as well. And look at his beard. Doesn't that tell you everything? Look at his beard. He hasn't shaved. People have been saying he looks old this week. He just doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, he doesn't care about what he looks like. All he cares about is doing a demolition job on Oleksandr Usyk. He says it's not about the belts. It's not about revenge. It's not about redemption or any of that. It's just about me beating up Oleksandr Usyk. I love that energy. Let's see if it means anything. Because Usyk, it looks like he's that guy. Mad pressure he'll put on Tyson Fury. But maybe it'll be Fury putting the pressure this time. Who knows? Who knows?
No, but that is a good point in regards to pressure. I think I was reading something, I've been reading a few of those, because Tony Bellew gave his opinion and said, listen, for Tyson to win this, he can't let Usyk bully him the way he did in the first fight. And I think he sort of alluding to the pressure that Usyk just kept on putting on, not physical bullying, but just the pressure. For 12 rounds, Usyk's going to be on you. And for Tyson, there's an argument there that if he's putting on more weight, it means that there's more energy going in. Maybe he could get tired easily. There's a lot of variables in this fight. It just makes it a lot more exciting, right?
Yeah, look, Tyson's tank has always been good, right?
Fantastic.
But it can't have been as good as it. It wasn't as good as it should have been for the last fight, because obviously he couldn't spar as much and worried about the cut and all of that. The boxing rounds weren't necessarily in the bank. Now they are. Just ask Moses Itauma, who's been sparring him. We know the rounds are there, so that's something. However, even with that in mind, can Tyson Fury, any version of him, deal with that 12 rounds of sustained pressure from Oleksandr Usyk? This is what we're going to find out, because his pressure is mad. Tyson's got to take it away from him, just like he did in those middle rounds in the last fight.
You got a fan behind you.
I'm just talking all of his interviews right now.
No, come. They asked me a question about you.
I did actually ask you.
They said you said you've seen something in Tyson like you had before your fight, and I said I don't know if you went 3 months without speaking to any family. He's saying he has.
Nah, see, my difference was there was a lot of options for me to go and train in different places, and there was some invites into different places of the world, but I'm different in the sense of yeah, I'll travel somewhere that's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours away to make sure at the weekend I can spend with my kids. But that's where I was at with it, and now I haven't got like 7 or 8 kids, and I've seen a Netflix documentary, and I know a lot of the oh, now Tyson's calling someone out or wants to fight again started when some stress happened with the kids. That's what it looked like to me in the Netflix documentary. I don't know if that was edited that way or whatever, but yeah, so maybe that's it, because at the end of the day, when you got 7, 8 kids, that's a small army, and that's an impressive feat for any man to be able to do that and to raise those children. And it's distractions, man, and maybe because of what happened last time, you know, he lost his belts, you know, he's been championed of being a champion and coming back from places that people didn't think he was going to come back from. And I do think he's genuinely just trying to really zero in and, you know, just be a boxer. You know, back in the days when he had nothing but confidence and had nothing but just eye of the tiger on it. And maybe I should have took a more similar approach rather than coming back and softening myself and thinking, why am I even going in the ring and having a fight when my beautiful babies are here and they're already looked after? So that's where we're different, but in the sense of I don't think my kids would have let me not speak to them for no amount of months. My kid's got an iPad. He would have been belling my line down, making me play Pokemon Unite with him. But yeah, I just think the body language. You know what? I'm more saying that, not about that part. I always loved the show part. You know, when I had every bit of belief that there was no chance of me losing, so I was that good. I loved selling the fight. I loved making something happen. I loved, you know, talking a bit of shit. Do you know, when you're going through your own kind of, like, you know, body battles, mental battles, it's a bit more like, you know, let me just get there. And that's what I kind of think Fury's done this time. Let me just get there. Let me get in the ring. Let me give my best shot. That's what it just kind of seems. But I might be talking out of my arse, not speaking for him. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. And I hope not. I hope he's just zeroing in and he comes out like we've never seen him before. Even though I'm a huge Usyk fan, Jenny's one of my favourite fighters and has been since I was a 12, 13-year-old kid, staying up to watch the Olympics and the Worlds and the Europeans and just seeing him dominate, watching him box in New York, call for WSB at heavyweight, bear in mind. If you actually followed his career, he weren't just a cruiserweight as an amateur. He went up to heavyweight, went into the 5 rounds and beat everyone, including Joe Joyce. When Joe Joyce was literally, you couldn't hurt Joe Joyce in them days. He would literally walk through people sledgehammering in the face. But Usyk made him look like he hadn't really boxed before, and that's because he's just so good. Even though he was,
Joyce look like that.
Yeah, and I'm not. And Joyce is a friend of mine and someone I rate highly, but like, he had a lot of success in the amateurs, Joyce. But when he got in the ring with Usyk, it was like, and I'm there currently rooting for Joyce, but it was just like, wow, this kid is special.
Listen, he is special. Look, what I was mean about your fight is that you had a foot out of the door, right? You know that, you accept that, and that was kind of the story afterwards. It came out. I'm not sure he's got the foot out of the door just because of the 3 months not speaking to anyone. Look at his beard, that's grown. He doesn't care. You know, I'm looking at these beards. What's your beard? What's your beard like?
Look at his beard. He don't care.
What was your beard like?
You're clutching at straws here, and I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
So.
For the spectacle, I hope you're right, and I would love to see a trilogy. So I would support and celebrate. I would support and celebrate a Tyson Fury win, even though I'm picking Usyk and I'm probably more of a boxing fan. But you know, I'm a Brit as well, so of course I want Tyson to succeed. I love that British boxing is here. I love that, you know, because right now, look how the Riyadh seasons are going, right? Oh. The headliners seem to have a few people that relate to them on the undercard, so that the more British fighters are here, the more British fighters that will be here. Now, look, we've got about 3 or 4 Ukrainians on the card because of Usyk's here, so they're bringing the Ukrainians over as well. So if there's no one worth fighting in a Riyadh season from Britain, then it's probably falling apart for the Ishmael Davises, the Peter McGraths, all the boys on the card. So, you know, I'm a big fan of opportunities for fighters. I love the fact that with doing this sport that we do that seems so crazy, and for the longest period of time, there's not much movement. And then eventually one night can happen and it can make all your wrongs right in one night. And I love that kids are going home from here and buying houses for their family. I promise you, I love boxers. Even what people don't get about me is, even if you thought I don't like someone, is not a boxer I don't like, because what we do, unfortunately, boys, is different to what you do. But you get to enjoy the same sport and the same perks and the same benefits, but even more of them, because you ain't got to get punched in the face for them. We do. We got to make weight. I was sat there in Monaco last week and I just saw Chev got off the scales. And as soon as he got off the scales, putting water in his mouth, and I was just thinking, wow, I would never care if I never had to do that again.
By the way, shout out Sonny Edwards. In his prime, untouchable.
I honestly, and shout out Dev, because one of the first posts I seen after my retirement was that post, and it actually meant a lot. So I generally, you know, he's a bit of a lick-ass, Dev, but he's a good man. He's a good man.
On that one, I'm going to leave it as it is. Dev Sahni, listen, always a pleasure to talk to you. We know we're going to get a good fight tomorrow night between 2 elite fighters. You'll be there doing your thing. I'll see you tomorrow night, mate. Top man.
See you then, my friend.